Hey there, in this video I'm going to go over a few tips to significantly improve your no-show rate with just a few small tweaks. If you're experiencing no-show rates greater than 20%, it can be a real drag on your sales and marketing team. They're wasting times on leads that just aren't ready yet, but how do you cut your no-show rate in half without hiring even more expensive sales team to qualify leads? Hey, I'm Orrett. I'm a 3 times head of marketing for high-growth technology companies, and I've worked with over 100 B2B tech companies deploying these tactics to drive more qualified leads and revenue. By the end of this video, you have a few actionable tips that you can use to immediately reduce your no-show rate for your demos and your sales calls. First, let's talk about why improving your no-show rate is such a critical deal. If you have a high no-show rate, it drives up your costs for SQLs. It wastes a ton of time for your sales and marketing team as they have to chase down and reserve time for no-shows. It leaves your sales and marketing team disgruntled, frustrated, and overall unhappy with the leads coming in from your marketing efforts. And then ultimately it contributes to misalignment between marketing and sales. Now let's take a look at the traditional way of doing lead follow-ups. Here we have a really simple overview of a B2B marketing funnel that a lot of companies run. What we have are some traffic sources. This could be Facebook, LinkedIn, Google search, inbound, outbound, SEO. It doesn't really matter. You have traffic coming in. Generally go then to a landing page. You may have some type of opt-in, and from there a lead is forced to really do one thing, which is submit a form. Once that form is submitted, there's generally a manual follow-up process. Sometimes this may be automated, but it just really boils down to a series of emails, maybe some tag, which is just follow up. Hey, do you want to have a book a meeting? Do you want to book a meeting? Do you want to book a meeting? Eventually a meeting gets booked. This can be a very manual, time consuming, tedious process. This is a playbook that we see a lot of companies run. It's incredibly inefficient. When leads do finally book meetings, they tend to be lower quality. They not necessarily sales ready, and they oftentimes don't show up to the meetings. What I want to show next is what we found to be a general better process for doing this. And it's meant to be as an initial guide, like a first step of this should be your bare minimum when you're booking funnel for your company. We still have the same traffic sources coming in. Like I said, it doesn't matter where they're coming from. They go to a landing page where they're finding out information, and then there's an opt-in page. On this opt-in page, instead of doing a normal form, we see what works best is doing some type of multi-step quiz or survey to help qualify and or disqualify prospects. They're bounced to a different product offering, or they're just told they're simply just not a fit. But this is really meant to be the first defense for your sales and marketing team. From there, if a form submission event happens, there's a branching change that happens here. The first thing is every prospect that kind of submits a form that meets this qualification process here gets looped into a retargeting and a remarketing effort. What we'll want to do, or what we recommend, is you create lookalike audiences from people that submit the form that meet your qualifications. And you can use this to then drive more people that kind of look like them, will take similar actions back into your overall marketing funnel. And with this as well too, if someone submits the form, meets your qualification, but doesn't take the next step to actually book the calendar appointment, they can also get remarketed into this loop as well too, where you can show them additional product information, case studies, objections. So from there, like I said, we move on to the calendar. They get presented with the calendar information. There's two flows. Once again, they can book the meeting or they can not book the meeting. Let's do the not booked meeting first. And so if the meeting is not booked, but you have their contact information, they can still get looped into a welcome engagement email where it's basically showcasing the product, showcasing the features, introducing the sales or the product team at this point in time. And then we're still pushing for the meeting. We're trying to get someone rebooked on the calendar with this flow. And our general approach is we want 7 touch points within 48 hours or so. That's a mix of both emails and of text messages, trying to get someone looped in to book the appointment. That's generally the playbook that we look at, something along the lines of this. But now on the meeting book, if that eventually does happen, we'd like to show people a thank you page. And on that thank you page is I'll call it a mini VSL or mini video that showcases and outlines the next steps, what to expect, and sets some guidelines for the upcoming meeting. Set some guidelines, expectations. Hey, the meeting's going to be this long. Great if you run on your computer. You're going to learn this and this. These are what other people learned from attending this session or the benefits that they got. And so it helps to really create excitement for the meeting and helps to drive overall engagement for the meeting as well too. Where on the previous flow, like that step is really missing. It's just the meeting gets booked and then nothing really happens after that. But on here, we're presented with another kind of thank you message. From there, this starts the kind of follow-on sequence. And how we like to think about this is this sequence is really not necessarily meant to constantly remind, hey, you have a meeting, but is meant to nurture a prospect and bring them through a buyer journey. You have the confirmation email, the welcome email, the SMS introducing you and whoever's going to be a part of the overall demo. The next cadence is presenting them with case studies or social proof. From on there, the next part, it might be sections from your FAQ or your objections. And then the next piece is conditional social proof. Find ways to layer these elements that take someone through the overall buyer's journey. Old way versus new way, why you're different, case studies, social proof, UGC, whatever it may be, but using this opportunity as someone is in this kind of holding period before a meeting to help build up the use case as to why they should attend, why they need your product or service, building up that interest. And the general timeline for this is you want some of these to go out basically immediately, next batch to go out 24 hours before a meeting, an hour before a meeting, and then say 15 minutes before a meeting, and then layer on these elements as you get closer towards the meeting. So in this example here, we went from basically only one touch point, if that, or two touch points or three touch points up here, basically doubling that down here with between the thank you video, between these additional social proofs and case studies, and then the SMS welcome flows as well too. One of the key takeaways though is you want to make sure that we're providing value at each of these touch points. And I can't stress that enough. It's not just, hey, you have a meeting come up, hey, you have a meeting come up, hey, you have a meeting come up. This is the reason why you're going to want to attend this meeting and why you should be excited to attend this meeting is because other people are seeing similar success. Other people like you that are having the same issue are seeing success, other companies, other industries, kind of using an opportunity to pre-handle any objections that you commonly get. Hey, where costs sometimes come up as one of those objections, integrations come up as sometimes as an objection. Generally speaking, I think it's best to address those ahead of time where you can have more fruitful conversations and have a higher show-up rate when the actual meeting comes. I've often said the worst place that you can be and your sales team can be is in this kind of in-between maybe state where a prospect hasn't told you yes, they haven't told you it's just a maybe. And so your team ends up wasting tons of time on following up these prospects, but they're not quite ready yet. And we want to push the no as quickly as possible in the sales meeting booking process and get to the cancel or the rescheduled meeting as quickly as possible as well too, versus the no show to the meeting, which like I said, just wastes a ton of time for everyone involved. As I said at the beginning, that was really just meant to be an example of some quick tweaks that you can make to your overall booking demo and follow-up process. Just following these steps, we've seen that they've reduced no-show rates by 50+%, if not more, for companies that we've worked with that have deployed a similar playbook. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe. We've got other videos covering more B2B sales marketing tips on how you can deploy these tactics to drive more growth and revenue for your company. With that, hope to see you in the next video. Have a good one. Peace.